right, we back on the scene again.
Hey,
how's it
everybody.
going, everybody out there? All right, you got another episode of No Feelings, Just Facts. I'm your own Clevonne with Miss Tosha V, Mr. Ron on the scene today. We got a guest coming in the house today with us, and she is coming all the way from Detroit, Michigan. She's a motivational speaker. She's a woman that's always doing inspirational and giving a lot of information. So it's a pleasure to have her on the scene today. Her name is Miss Zakiya Monique.
Hey.
Hailing from Detroit,
Hey.
Michigan. What's going on,
you.
girl? And this woman right here, I want to give clarity. If anybody wants to follow this woman, you got to definitely follow her. She's on Facebook with Zakiya Monique Speaks. She's on TikTok. She's on Instagram. If you look for Zakiya Monique, please look her up and listen to the dialogue she has, because I haven't heard nobody just going as raw as she is and giving straight facts. And I believe you're a huge motivational for women, right? A huge advocate for women?
I am. I'm a master relationship strategist, and I particularly help women, even though a lot of what I do helps men. But what I do understand is while I can give a man a woman's perspective, I cannot lead him out of the trenches, you know? So I reserve that portion of my coaching for women.
Nice. So it's a pleasure to have you on the scene right now. So our topic that we're talking about today is, are you too independent? So when we look at people and we're defining it as independence, I think the biggest issue we run into is because we have a culture of people who are saying, I don't need nobody. Walk around constantly saying, I don't need nobody. You don't need anyone. I can do it by myself. I am independent. And I believe sometimes, and I'm going to be a little sarcastic, we get independence mixed up with stupidity, because we get to a point where we tell people, you don't need anyone or anything in your life, in your space, to come help you, to be of assistance, because you can do everything by yourself. And that's a lot of misleading information when it comes to us as individuals growing and becoming better. So many people have missed the mark of that because of a lot of our teaching.
I think that when you hear a person say I'm independent,
yes,
it's coming from a place of them constantly being let down by people they trusted.
Okay.
So in my opinion, it's a defense mechanism, because it's easier for them to depend on themselves than anyone else. So I don't label it as being stupid. I labeled it as being damaged.
Okay, got you. I got you. Well, when I say I was being sarcastic, I was really saying, because a lot of people in the mindset of they will go so hard on something without even knowing, like, what do you mean by your independence? And I respect the point that you just made as well. So when we're looking at independence, really is just the free for control of somebody else, out of somebody else's control. I'm not in the midst of someone else's control. I respect that. But when we're talking about building, a lot of people get so independent that we cut off help.
Gotcha.
And we miss the mark of what we need for help. We miss that mark a lot of times. Let me back up a little bit really quick. I got a question. I meant to bring this up early. Did anybody follow the shooting that just took place in Timberview in Texas? Anybody follow that?
Oh, with the kids?
With the baby?
Fighting.
They jumped the baby, and then he turned around and shot everyone.
Right.
Well, not everyone, but he just started shooting the ones that were attacking him. What's your take on that when you look at a situation like that as well?
Well, they said he got bullied. He was being bullied.
He was being bullied, right?
And he was letting people know ahead of time before he brought that gun into school.
Well,
so he independently got a gun and said that I am going to take care of this matter on my own.
Well, so he got to the point, he got to a breaking point. He got to an actual breaking point. And so that's where a lot of our kids run into a lot of dilemmas a lot of times as well, is they get to a breaking point and it's like a lot of times they don't have the outlet to discuss. Zakiya, you there?
I'm here. So I think that I've just been listening because what I think the biggest problem is with our youth today is that many of them have been praised for being, forward thinking and to being more open and all of that. But what we have missed is the ingredient of being able to be emotionally stable. Many of them can't take a thing. Okay. They nail break, they fall apart. Oh my God, I got my tire blew up on the way to a job interview. I just can't go. My life's falling apart. Your life falling apart because you got a flat tire.
No.
That happens quite a bit.
So part of the problem is, his breaking point, he may have gotten to his breaking point, and maybe he did tell a couple of people, but if you were to look at what he had gone through and look at what a 70s baby had gone through.
Ooh, somebody would have got a whooping.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, we would have capped back on him.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know the extent of what he went through, but we would have capped back on them, or we would have went got our big brother or whatever. We just settled it in the streets and we kept it moving. But now it's to the point of everything is extreme, and extreme is because you hurt me, you attacked me, and everything is a personal attack. And that is because we have not given our children what they need emotionally to be stable. And part of that is because we don't have it.
That's a very good point.
In this case, it was an extreme. It was an extreme case of bullying. They stripped his clothes off of him. They took his shoes from him. They robbed him a number of times. He wasn't used to public school. He was going to private school, I believe, and then transferred into a public school. He was vocal about the bullying to his parents to the school. I say, me as a parent, if somebody's touching my child, I'm at the school. Yeah, I'm not gonna let my kid try to handle that on his own.
Right.
The parents were saying that, you know, they inform the school, but yet you continuously send your son to this toxic environment where he's getting hands put on him. I didn't understand that.
See that once again, there's a disconnect, because when your child is going through something, you should be able to know something.
Right.
They're
right.
So, okay. And so my thing is, I have 2 children, and my son is 13, and he had a situation with bullying as well. And he did something that was out of the ordinary for his character. And because I'm tuned in as a parent, I didn't just discipline him. You go to your room. I said, what's going on? And you're going to need to tell me what's going on.
Right there. That's what's up.
See, so again, it goes back to the emotional connection, because some of us are so busy, because of us, we got our own issues and all of this going on. We stop being in tune with those that we're in relationship with, including our children.
I agree with you 100% on that note. And when we look at this, and that's where the independence come in as well. As you're saying, I feel like a lot of times, a lot of our adults have emotional disconnects as well when it comes to actually connecting what has broken us. Because Tosha said earlier about the part of being let down, right? So we disconnect the part of what has broken us compared to where we are going to stand on our own without anybody ever being there a lot of times as well.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of miscommunication with the dialogue that we need to have amongst ourselves in our circles, because a lot of people once again, you are being independent. There's nothing wrong with being independent, but are you so independent that you don't want no one, or you don't need no one? I'm going to bring it back to the emotional too.
Quick,
back up.
Because here's the thing. There's 2. I looked up independence today because I'm a teacher.
Okay.
Teacher by nature. So I looked up independence, and here's the problem. The problem is, when we say independence, everybody assumes the same thing. It's not. See, independence can mean individuality, freedom, liberation, unconventionality, and impartiality, which are all okay, right?
Okay.
But then it can also mean disinterested, non-alignment, self-government, self-reliance, and self-sufficiency. And some of those can be okay, but when you start, purposefully not being in alignment with things, when you start purposefully disinterested and becoming disengaged, and you start bucking the system out because of the malice that you have in your heart and because of the issues that you have not dealt with, your unresolved issues, now we have a problem with independence, because now it is not independence that you're really standing in. It is really your own dysfunction, and you're calling it independence.
Man, hey, finish that out, girl. Finish that out. Finish that out. This is where I wanted you to get to it right here. You got to finish that out. I was waiting on this. Go ahead.
So my thing is, at the end of the day, what are you really standing in? Are you standing in independence, which is individuality, freedom, liberation from the oppression?
Okay.
Or are you the oppressor because you're the one that is disinterested, non-aligned? You got a problem with everything. You're going off all the time, and you call it independence. No, you're standing in the midst of damage. You're standing in the midst of being wounded. You're standing in the midst of dysfunction, and you're calling it independence because the world allows you to.
So I got to throw this one in here too, because a lot of people want to feel that control as well, and they want to feel needed. So you want to feel needed so bad sometimes that you don't even know what it feels to be to feel validated. You want to feel needed so bad that you don't know what it feels to feel validated, and therefore you push away what you need.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
What I mean by that is a lot of times, once again, you want to feel needed, right?
Right.
A lot of people want to be in control. I'm independent. I'm in control. So a lot of people keep that control mechanism, right? But they don't know what it is to be validated in the presence of the experience of life. So go back to what she was just saying, and you said as well, the damage experienced from a lot of people. A lot of us have been so damaged that we feel, I gotta feel needed. And then to feel validated, I push away the validation.
Okay.
I
be
push,
needed.
because I want to be needed. Me being needed is a part of me being in control.
So you push away the need.
I push away the need. What do I need, right? No. You push away the need of being validated, but you want to feel needed. A lot of people want to feel needed opposed to feeling validated. I validate you when I come and give you words of affirmation. I come reassure you. I validate you when I give you what you need, but it's a defense mechanism of us. I got to feel needed so I can be in control a lot of times.
Wow.
And this is why a lot of women go and get beta males. See,
Ooh.
a lot of women will go and get beta males because he's not going to say a thing. He's going to let you run amok. He's going to let you do what you want to do. And we we've gotten to the point where we don't want to be alone, but so we want somebody.
Yes.
Yep.
But then we want somebody that's not going to tell us nothing.
Right.
We
Right.
want somebody that's not going to hold us accountable. We want somebody we could talk to, flip out the mouth. At the end of the day, the whole thing is we wanted to escape order. So we fled to independence because we wanted to escape order, because the order that we saw was not really order. So let me talk about the bad word here.
Go ahead.
Submission.
That's not a bad word.
To get away from submission.
I don't think that's a bad word. I don't.
No.
Oh,
it's
okay.
a bad word by nature.
Oh, okay. Got you.
If you say it to the average woman, especially one that's out of order, she's gonna say, "I want a parts of that."
Right. Right.
But that's because she has not seen it done well.
And
when she attempted to do it, she did it with the wrong person.
Right.
So the day you decided you were gonna be, submissive, you were submissive to this fool, not a man.
I gotta keep talking.
You decided to be submissive to a male, but you did not give the man a chance.
Right.
Go ahead.
So as a result of that, we because of the bad experience that we had with submission when we chose to do it back in our teens and 20s, when we really didn't know what to look for.
Yes.
Okay, then we had that bad experience, and you know what we said? I'm not doing that no more, because I watched my grandmama and my granddaddy got babies all outside the house. I watched my daddy. I watched. Okay, you know what? And then I tried it. Nope, I'm done. So then we flock all the way to the other extreme and call it independence.
Oh, that's
Keep
the
talking.
wrong. That's the wrong independence.
Keep talking.
Call it independence, right? And so then I need somebody. So who do I go get when I'm still dealing with all of that that's in my heart from what I saw as a youth, and then when I'm dealing with all that's in my heart from what I went through in my first relationship when I was most pure and loving, in the most innocent way. Okay, I didn't deal with none of that, so I went and got him.
A beta male.
Right, I got to get a beta male because the alpha male's not going to deal with it.
Oh, no, not today.
Damn.
Right.
The alpha male's not going to deal with it. And so what we do is we just go get the lesser. We get the low-hanging fruit. And it's not just women, but men do it too.
Exactly.
Men do it too.
They don't want to climb to the top, so they just go get the one that's hanging from the tree or the one that fell already on the
most
ground.
convenient.
And Ms. Monique, I want to scale back to what you said about basically the alpha male, because you have a lot of men out here that claim to be alpha males but have no idea what that truly means. It doesn't mean, in my opinion, to be aggressive, to be harsh. They have this false sense of what an alpha male truly is. Yes. And then so you have a lot of knucklehead, what I like to call little boys, who like to claim that they're alpha males but have no idea what a man truly is because they never seen it or had an example of one.
Yes, and I agree with that, because everybody, if you ask the average man, he's going to say he's an alpha male. Nobody wants to admit to being a beta male.
Be in control.
Right.
It's really a control.
Because a beta male is weak.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, some of the people that are calling themselves men are weak too.
Correct.
So
and broken.
Yes.
Oh, very, very true. I totally agree with that. When you look at this part, I got to ask this question too, because you both are women. When you look at alpha women, give me an example of some alpha women and traits that cause them to end up not with the right element of what they need.
So you said examples. I think one of the best examples of an alpha woman is Michelle Obama.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
And it's because Michelle Obama understands that while I may be very much educated, while I may have my beliefs, while I have family first, and I still have my husband that I serve with and I serve him.
That's dope. That's dope because we missed that part.
So she has not lost her ability to serve, which is why she went on tour with a book that taught us that you can have it all. Because you truly can have it all. You don't have to sacrifice your independence just because you want love. But society told us we couldn't have them both, because if we did back in the 50s and the 60s, if you look at what happened with your grandma, either your grandma got to stay home and work, or stay home and not work,
kids,
or if you go to work, you can't have that husband. Because the husband felt like they groomed our men to feel like if she works, she's not gonna need you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very true.
For some reason, our men believe that the only way we need them is financially. So what happens is when you see a woman that's financially stable, he says, I can't give her anything. But that's not true. Because emotionally, we still need you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very true.
So you need him emotionally. And let's go into this relational component right here so we can kind of fill the gap. You need him emotionally, and he needs you mentally. And neither one of us.
He needs me mentally and physically. He needs me emotionally too, because let me tell you now what the biggest problem with relationships is. Well, one of the biggest problems. Now women are saying sex and money is not enough. What else you got?
That's what I'm saying now. You're right.
Exactly. And then I think
and
a lot
guys
of
are saying, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want you to finish your thought.
The guys are saying, the guys are saying, I don't have nothing else, because they're emotionally unavailable because they haven't done the work.
I think
so they're still hurt from their first love. Their mom, they're still hurt, right? They're still wounded from dealing with their first love. They're still wounded from dealing with all of the issues that came out of their household. They never ever got it together because society didn't say they had to. As a matter of fact, society said, just go get a good job.
That's it. Just be a provider. Just be a provider.
Just go get a good job. As long as you're a good provider. And I have a clip that says a good man is always a good provider, but a good provider is not always a good man.
You got that right.
This chick is going
That is the truth.
And so therefore, what happens? He just said, they told him go get a 6-figure job and you're good. But then she went and got a 6-figure job too. So she's like, what else you got?
Right.
And for the first time in history, men have to come up with something else
besides finances.
What they call the D word and dollars.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Got you. So on the movie Shaft, they call it the LD.
The LD. Well, I thought you were going to say the DL.
I was cracking a joke really quick, but back on a serious note, when you look at the component of why is it that a lot of women, I want to go into the men as well, but why do you feel a lot of women actually do push a man away, the ones that are very independent?
Because they don't need them. They already have established their own hub, their own hub. They're making their money. They got their own house. They're living the dream. So again, like Miss Monique has said, that what else can you bring to the game? I already filled your shoes. So what else can you bring to the game?
That's a good question. That's the question I always ask, because a lot of men do run into this as well, the intimidation aspect of it a lot of times. And a lot of women will say, why are you intimidated? And, if he's a real man, why can't he approach her? I would ask the same question.
We have been reprogrammed.
But you understand what I'm saying? That intimidation, where a lot of them feel intimidated and won't even approach the woman a lot of times. So why is it that a lot of times the women who are very independent will push a lot of men away? Fear. Oh, good point. Okay.
Fear. I'm afraid.
And I think sometimes
I've already tried. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think sometimes it just usually takes a little more effort to get close to a person, especially if they're guarded. And sometimes people don't want to put in the work. You understand? So it's like where before, say if you meet a woman that's not as independent, right?
Okay.
She might be more approachable, but a person who's guarded, and that's man or a woman, it might take a little bit extra work to get close to that person. But then in your mind, you're like, why should I have to go through all that to get to know you?
But another aspect of that is this. Sometimes by the time a man gets to the woman, okay, so let's just think he's already played the field and all of that. Because when I talk about boys, males, and then men. Okay. So now he has had to go through his time of being a boy. He has had to go through his time of being a male, and now he's a man. So he's made all of his major mistakes in terms of parenting and da-da-da-da-da. Okay. And now he gets to the woman, And what we don't understand is she is dealing with stacked grief.
Ooh.
Okay? The stacked grief of the previous relationships that did not work out.
Okay.
And so now you think that you're going to penetrate all that with your promises? No, I need you to penetrate that with your patterns.
Thank you.
Wait, whoa. Y'all just cut deep really quick. Wait, you say it again. Penetrate that.
When a woman has stacked grief, meaning that her heart has been torn out the frame for a long time, or she's been through the wilderness a long time, and then she finally gets it together, you cannot penetrate that with promises. Yeah. You have to penetrate that with your patterns.
So, in other words, consistency.
Yes, your action. So it is not what you say, it is what you do. And as I teach my audience, when what he says does not match what he does, go with what he does.
Right.
Wow. That's deep. I
like that part that you said, how, well, I just call it mentally rape. Some women are mentally raped because of the patterns that you had said, their previous patterns. So you cannot, when you understand that this woman has been through something, you cannot say, baby, I'm going to fix this. You need to show a pattern, show a way how we can fix this together. Because I know about your past and you know about mine.
A lot of people don't be understanding that as well. And I got to bring this to the table. A lot of people will play the role like they do understand and don't have no clue. Mm-hmm. Will play like for all my fellas out there, I'm sorry. I just got to give the information. I'm not throwing us under the bus, but I got to be straightforward to help the women. A lot of times the men will say everything right. He will listen to you. The main man that a lot of women always give themselves to is their best friend. And the reason they give it to their best friend is because he knows everything. Mm-hmm. You've told him every step of how to penetrate to you. So your best friend ain't worth the damn, but you told him, Jim, don't bring me flowers. He show up with flowers. You tell him, I need to be held like this. And then he just so happened to hold you like that. You tell him, I just need somebody to listen. He listens, right? So he's doing all the things that's right to get the moment. And that's what happens is a lot of women will give the moment away, but they don't have the future, which causes a lot more damage as well. A lot more damage because we as men, what do we focus on a lot of time? We focus on 2 pumps in the grind. We focus on what we want out the equation. I'm being real. Mm-hmm. So it gives us a ripple effect of where we get to a point where we're getting pushed away, or we are the one pushing away. She's pushing us away, or we are the one pushing away because of all these broken patterns. Mm-hmm. So for the women out there, I gotta be straightforward with you that for our women, when you're looking at a man and you're saying he's my friend, I'm gonna be straightforward with you. All of us ain't always your friend. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
Because your friend is trying to hit it too. You know that your friend likes you. So there's some part of you where you got to stop hurting yourself and putting yourself in the middle of that because you want attention or because you're looking for certain things.
Gotcha.
Out of a man, because I'm good at speaking to men. I know how to speak to men. No, you don't.
Right.
No, you don't. No, you don't. And the women got to stop doing that to themselves. You're hurting yourself when you say, I got mainly male friends. All my homeboys. Yes, okay. And what do all of them want to do? They all want to hit it. They all want to get at you, get in your pants, and play like they're your friend. Call big brother. Call big bro. Let me know what's up. Don't do that to yourself. Go ahead.
But we've been focused on women a lot, but we have a lot of independent men out there, too.
Let's go with it. That's what we got to bring to.
Who's been damaged in past relationships, who feel like they have their backs up against the wall where they're not welcoming to help or somebody coming in. They feel like they need to handle it on their own. Mm-hmm. So you have men that go through the same thing as well.
That's very true.
So the unfortunate thing is we don't have enough male coaches that will go and talk to the men because the men don't buy. They go and talk to the women because women gonna buy them books, women gonna come to them shows, women gonna do so. So therefore, instead of them talking to the men, they will teach us how to deal with the foolishness that the men put out.
Right. Oh man, dude, you're cutting deep. A lot of the men, here's the issue, the trust issue, right? It's the trust issue. What do you have to do with an animal? You have to build that animal up to trust you. You have to build the animal to a component where he trusts you and he serves you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of women will miss that mark a lot of times. So it's easy to push away. I'm not bashing women. I'm just saying you got to get it to the point where he trusts you. When he sees that this is working, this is great, he's loyal to you. He builds that loyalty. But a lot of times we miss that mark a lot of times. That's it.
Well, in the name of independence, though, the reason why we miss the mark is because we think we need to match his fly.
Yes.
Thank you.
And let me tell you something, and this is what I told my audience too. He don't care about your 6 figures.
No.
He don't care about your 6 figures.
Nope.
He don't care about your 6 figures. He
Nope.
don't care about your 6 figures. If you make 6 figures and he makes 6 figures, he don't care about your 6 figures.
Nope.
What he wants, what a man wants from you, is to bring him all the things that those 6 figures can't bring him.
Right.
The smallest things. The small.
Yes,
I always tell
he's saying,
people.
so in other words, bring me the stuff that I can't already do for myself or get for myself. But instead, we trying to come and match him, and then we become what? His competition.
Yeah, you do run into that. And I always tell people this is not the wood that builds the house, it's the screws and nails. And when we get to the point where we can actually stand it up with that, now we got something longevity.
Got it.
That's where a lot of times we miss. But yes, there is a huge detachment when it comes between the men and women. So a lot of the men who are broken have the same feelings a lot of women do feel, because a lot of women will play the role. Here's a lot of role. You want me to take you out, right? You want my money. Let's be straightforward. You want my money, you want my time, and you want the representation of me being present. But are you serious about getting to that level with me? So I'll do it on my own. An established man is a lot more challenging than an unestablished man.
Right.
An unestablished man is easier to reach if you build with him. An established man, just like she was just saying, if you coming into the equation, you're going to have to do a lot more on top of how much more are we going to grow and what are you going to give that's missing right now. An unestablished man is, I need to grow in what we're missing so you can catch him right there. But it depends on a woman. What are you trying to catch? You trying to catch somebody you building with, you're growing with, or you want somebody that's already established? Somebody that's already established is going to be a little more challenging.
Right.
And if I build with you, though, then I have to have some level of trust that when we build, you're not going to leave.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's where the detachment comes in.
Women are like, I'm not building nothing or nobody else. If you ain't got it, I don't want no parts of it because I'm not building up another man to go and leave.
Yikes.
Exactly. It's like you said, it's that level of fear, because it's like,
yes,
when you're coming into a situation and you're helping the individual get to a place, or you guys get to a place, and then you discover, or he discovered that you're not even his type. Because the type he wanted, he couldn't afford.
What a waste of time.
So now you're the woman of the moment because you fit his budget. You fit his emotion. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
Or
So how can
what
women...
if he outgrows you?
Exactly.
Sometimes he may grow. See, sometimes you meet him, you're here, and he's here.
Okay.
And if you focus so much on him and you make sure he's straight, you forgot to fill up on your own.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
So you stop filling you up and you stop growing, and your personal development became secondary, or you're like, never mind, I'm straight. And so then what happened is you built him up. Now he's up here. And he's saying, you're not my type no more because you don't take care of yourself. And she's like, wait a minute, because I took care of you.
Right.
But
He
is
had
it a
lost
man
her
that
independence.
Resentment and bitterness.
But is it a man that respects and appreciates you too? Because I don't know. I'll just use myself for example. Is I'm an actionary person, so I'm a person of service. So I can look at it as, this is a person that's helping me get there. I got to make sure you're straight as well across the board. So it's a reciprocated experience, but then you do have a lot of selfish people that want to see what they can get from you. And that's where we get it misconstrued at, is everybody's thrown up in the same bucket.
I think a lot of times, especially us as women, when we enter into a relationship that we're talking about, right? We lose our identity because we clutch to our man, and then his dreams become the priority. His success becomes the priority.
Right.
Because you're my man, so I'm going to help you get there, because if you get there, we're cool.
Okay.
And so then you leave your goals, your dreams, and you attach everything, you put all your energy into what he wants to do.
Kind of like waiting to exhale.
Exactly. And then when he reaches a level of plateau, you're lost.
And where does that come from?
It comes from, I think a lot of us are trained to be, that's how we feel like we're of service.
We're groomed to go through the fire, to the limit, to the wall.
Exactly.
For a chance to be with you, I'll gladly risk it all.
And
We're taught that whatever I need to do for you to be happy. Never mind me.
Exactly.
But whatever I need to do for you to be happy and for this to work is what I'm gonna do.
So, hey,
and that includes forgetting myself.
And Monique,
wait,
last week I had brought up a point because I looked up a clip, and it was interviewing a lot of women of different races, right? So they did, and I brought it up last week, but I want to bring it up with you to get your thoughts on it. So they interviewed some white women. They was like, would you enter into a relationship where the man wasn't financially stable? Off top, it was no. Asian women, no. You know, all these other races, no. They get to the black woman, oh, well, if has potential, oh, if he's trying, he can't be a bum. If he has goals, I can help him. So why are we as black women taught to go through the struggle for love? Like every other race.
Slavery.
I was just about to say the same thing. I was just about to say
it comes from our upbringing.
Generational.
We're taught that you accept whatever it is and you make it better. See, what do they always say? You give a black woman something, she gonna make it better. Right?
True.
See, they used to say you give a woman something, but because see that Asian woman and that white woman, like, use a lie. They're taught to like I got a lot of flack on TikTok because I said that the African American female is the only group that is expected to enter into a relationship, be drug in the mud to prove our love. I stand behind that. I didn't say we were the only ones to struggle.
Right.
Because a lot of women struggle, but we're the only ones that struggle for love. See, they struggle for lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay. Melinda Gates knew her husband was going out of town with another whole woman that he had been with previously. But you know what she said? Bye-bye, Bill.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, enjoy yourself, honey. You know why? Because first of all, Tom was coming over while Bill was
right. That's right.
Okay, let's be clear. And then second of all, because she already knew it was an arrangement in the beginning.
Yeah.
They have arrangements where, it's good for me to marry you. Love is secondary, but lifestyle is first.
But okay, now let me kind of bring this up really quick. When you look at the Amazon owner, what's his name? What's my man's name? Jeff Bezos, right? And he did the interview about how he and his wife built Amazon and they sold books in the beginning. And they would sell books and they would be there all day, and she started doing the accounting and all that. They built the business together. They eventually divorced later. But when I look at a situation like that, she came up from the bottom with him. That's how for me personally, and now they grew apart or whatever. I'm not going to speak on their marriage, but I'm just speaking of what I heard and what I heard him speak about. When a woman grows with you and help you build, there's a different level of respect and appreciation from her than when one comes in on the scene later on.
It becomes truly hers.
But does that mean she grew with you? See, just because you build with me does not mean you grew with me. See? And so therefore, now I'm not saying that you don't deserve to be taken care of, but that does not mean that you grew with me, because sometimes a person has a poverty mindset and they're just simply following your lead. So he could have, I don't know their situation, but he could have very well been steering the ship and got tired of saying, well, do you got some ideas?
Gotcha. You know, so that part.
So sometimes the person, you're just dragging them along. And let me tell you something, everybody can't go to the top or you won't make it either.
See, go back to what you just said, the poverty mindset. There's a lot more people who would do everything possible to hold you back because of their fear of you outgrowing them.
That's the crab in the bucket.
But it's a mentality though that we all have a lot of times. So when we're looking at the dynamic of being independent, are you codependent or are you independent? Because a lot of people get it twisted, just like a lot of men. And I got to say this, when they mama raised their sons, right? Whenever the son got a problem, who he call? His mama. Yeah. Whenever he needs something taken care of, who take care of it? His mama. His mama always speaking up. Don't you dare say nothing to my son. If she do wrong, me and her gonna fight. Me and her gonna have it out. So he has a codependency on his mama, but she say my son is independent because he live on his own. But when he fall on hard times, who's the one to pick up the slack? I'm not saying nothing's wrong with that, but I'm saying we get the wires crossed a lot of times.
It could be overly done.
But it is something wrong with that, because if you don't prepare him to be, and that's another thing I call flag on TikTok, because I said that your husband comes first. Not at the expense of your children, but your husband comes first. But your husband can't come first and be the king if your son and him gonna battle.
Thank you. The son is the king and the husband is.
Oh, you're talking about
in a relationship. A lot of times that does happen is her son becomes her man. Real
Absolutely.
talk. And a lot of times that the son is still living in the house, sleeping in the bed with the mama. He's over here. I'm serious. A lot of times when it comes to her getting a new man, guess what? Let me bring my son over here. The son, or what he over here for? Who he? Why he drink all the milk? He came to visit.
Right.
So her son is her man. Now he has a codependency on his mama. So
and in some instances, he's still paying her bills. So some of them are still paying her bills. I know a guy specifically still paying the mama bills. Get over there. The mama got a boyfriend. What he here for? Because I'm paying the bills.
I'm your man.
Her son has become her man.
I'm your man.
That's deep.
That's something where we miss a lot of those marks in between that, is that we get our kids into a position where they shouldn't be in.
Yes.
Is your child in a position that they're not ready to be in? So we're saying my baby's independent, but without me, they'll never survive. And I heard a lot of people always say that, where they would bash their kids as well.
Right.
Oh, he don't know nothing. She don't know nothing. They gonna call me next week. So they keep the kids in a codependent position as well.
Because it makes them feel needed.
Because
absolutely.
It feels needed.
It makes them feel needed.
I need to be needed, and if I let them go, see, here's what it really comes down to is I've been so out of order for so long that any man that did want to deal with me left.
Yes.
And so when he left, I pour everything vicariously through my children.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I sacrifice everything for my children.
Yes.
And then I will unconsciously make them feel that they owe me.
With me, Monique, what I found out a couple of weeks ago in therapy with me is because I had to check myself on it, because I was doing that to I have 2 boys, and with my history of bad relationships, my kids were the only constant that I had. So it was this codependency of me feeling needed by my kids. So I would put them in situations where I wouldn't let them basically come into their manhood, because I need to feel needed. So now I'm getting to the point where I'm having to, release and let them do their own thing. But that's a real issue. And a lot of women don't know that, because like it's unconscious.
It's unconscious.
Yeah,
it's so natural.
Yeah, and it was through therapy that I had to get checked on it.
So that goes back to I need to feel needed, but I don't know what it is to feel validated. I know a young lady right now, she's in a relationship with a man in prison. And she's trying to fix everything with that man in prison. She's trying to fix all his affairs. She's trying to blend his family. She's trying to do everything for him. But then she has a man that comes in her life, and he validates her. We're going to build together. We're going to do this, and she doesn't want him. Because she needs to feel.
She doesn't want him. She's afraid of him.
Yeah.
Ooh, so go back to go back to that situation then. Being that she's afraid, she's going to stay in a position where she needs to feel needed. And therefore, she's doing.
Fear makes you stay longer than you want
to stay.
Right?
Fear is a
dangerous. Stay in places that you don't have no residence in, you don't have no purpose in, but fear will make you stay there simply because it's comfortable. Comfort is the enemy to progress. Comfort is the enemy to progress. So therefore, you have to decide: am I going to be comfortable? Or am I going to take a chance? And sometimes when you have stacked grief, meaning that you have relationship after relationship that has not gone well, you will take your chances over here in familiar lanes.
Which means that I'm familiar with being needed. I feel needed when I dealt with my family, when I dealt with my children. A lot of people have been in that same cycle where they've been needed, and then when they get into a position where they're validated, where somebody is like, we're building, we're going to go here, it's like, well, I'm not needed anymore. But you are needed. You're just not needed in the capacity of do everything by yourself. And that feeling of feeling needed is saying that I'm independent.
Right.
You're not independent now. You're not independent. Now you put yourself in a bad situation. That's very unhealthy, but a lot of people do that. And when you get yourself to being too independent, it really puts you into a depression. It really messes with you psychologically.
Sometimes it is also the situation. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but sometimes it's the situation of us not understanding that, well, if I'm not always working, because we feel like we always got to be doing something.
Yeah.
And so when he comes along and says, baby, you don't have to work that hard, we're like, well, what do you mean? Now you're trying to control me.
Oh, yes.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
and
that
so
fear.
We will self-sabotage. We will self-sabotage simply because this does not feel right. I'm used to working hard. See, I know a young lady who was with a man, and he said, I don't like you working 2 jobs. You work too hard. He said, quit one of the jobs. I got you. Now, every woman, there was this thing on Facebook that said, what's the three words a woman wants to hear? I got you. And for him to really have you. But when he says that, are you really ready for that?
Ain't ready.
Because that means that you have to come up under submission.
Thank you.
That word.
Go back to
simply
it.
means come under the mission of that man. And here's my thing. If you are 30, 35, 40 years old, why are you spending your time with somebody and you can't get up under his mission? Why? Submission is not for you to be barefoot and pregnant at home and forget all of your dreams. Submission does not mean that you have to be a slave to him and you don't have any say-so.
Yes.
Submission means that you are simply saying, baby, I can stand behind the very thing that you say we're going to do together.
Together. That's what. That's exactly what I was saying before. When we are building, because go back to what we just said, the fear of what may happen. I believe this. Whatever you speak into existence is what's going to come.
Gotcha.
So when you constantly speak the negativity into existence, that is your outcome of your situation. But if we're building, everything we do in life is based upon faith. You wake up by faith, you go to work by faith, you have to go bathe those kids by faith. There's no guarantee that anything in your life will work. You are living on borrowed time. You are living by faith. So if you're living by faith, you got to go into the situation by faith and you got to know and say it's going to work. But if you walk yourself into a deadbeat situation, do not try to classify it as a classy situation. It's a deadbeat situation because we all know what we get in advance a lot of times too.
Right.
Am I right or wrong?
Nothing.
Even though you see the potential.
And then we'll say he's a narcissist.
Oh, my, I'm so tired of
hearing that. Don't get me wrong. Before y'all get a slew of emails, I'm not saying that narcissism does not exist.
It does.
But what I am saying is some of these men were not narcissists. A narcissist does not tell you in the beginning he don't want a relationship. A narcissist in the beginning does not tell you who he is.
Yes.
Right.
Some of these guys are being very much upfront with you, telling you, I don't want no relationship, I don't want no kids, I don't want these ties, I don't want all of that stuff. And you saying to yourself, because the guy once told me, he said, I don't lie to women, I don't have to, they lie to themselves.
Ooh, I like him.
So therefore, let me say this. A lot of times these guys are telling you up front what they want and what they don't want. And you know what we're saying? He don't mean it. Yet.
Yeah, he don't mean it.
Yeah. He don't know what I'm sitting on. He don't know how I cook. He don't know how I do. I'm going to change his mind. And when his mind does not change and you find yourself 15 years later, the set in the slot machine syndrome where you said, I'm not getting up from this chair and let somebody else cash in.
Right.
And then we realized we ain't going to cash in either. Right.
Right.
So we realize, I didn't stay here all this time, and he ain't gonna marry me. Or I didn't stay here all this. He told you he didn't want you in the beginning, and he will sit there and he will pass time with you until he finds the one. And this is why so many women will say, "I don't understand why he left me and married the next girl." Girl, he had you on the shelf. He was something to do. He was something to do.
That happens a lot of times.
Exactly.
Every woman should have a certain amount of time that they gonna allow a man to have before he make a move. And at the end of the day, that's up to you as to how long it is. Some will say you got 6 months, buddy. Some will say you got a year. But baby, if your time limit is 15 years, it does not take nobody 15 years of sampling your milk and cookies to know that you are the one.
Right.
That's
probationary period.
That's real talk.
And so some of these women are saying, "Oh, he was a narcissist," and you know why they saying it? Because if you say it's a narcissist, you get pity. Nobody ever asked you what you did, because when you say narcissist, it means you didn't do nothing. He was the one.
Oh, I've heard that so much with so many, and you know what? We don't have enough people being honest about their faults and flaws. It's a lot of people want you to come forth and just tell all of your flaws, all of your faults, what you did wrong, opposed to dealing with the fact that, you know what, I did mess that up. I did, because you know how I messed that up? Because I was too independent. I was too independent, or and here's the thing: it's not a bad thing. But we got to separate where our independence does. Our independence pushes away what we need. That's it. You cannot you got to get in your brain that what you need, not what you want. I want this, but I really need this. But what I need is what I'm fearful of. So you got to really check yourself on that. So do you want somebody that's just beautiful and a model, or do you need somebody that's going to help you build a home? But we're so used to chasing after an illusion of what we need and not what we want, or you know what we want. We don't
understand what we're chasing for. We don't understand what relationships are for. We don't understand what marriage is about.
It was
all about purpose.
It
was never about getting laid and all of this stuff. Everything lends itself to purpose.
Because sex gets played out after a couple.
And what happens when you old and you like, don't touch me, Henry? You know what I'm saying? Here, don't church me.
And two, you could be chasing something that you're not even mentally ready for, honestly, because you have a lot of people saying, I want marriage, but are you ready for marriage? Do you know what type of commitment is? What kind of work goes into making a marriage successful? So, like, you can say you want a good man. Are you ready for a good man? Are you ready for a good woman? Have you prepared your environment for this individual, or do you still have a lot of chaos going on?
That baggage.
And have you prepared your mindset for this individual? Because you cannot treat a man the way that you treated the
last
boy
ones that you was with.
No. He is going to require more of you, and that's why some people stay in that lane over there.
Ooh,
and it's a lot of self-reflection. It's a lot of healing. It's a lot of work that goes into making sure you're ready for what you're looking for.
And so go back to the drawing board is us as individuals, so that we get out of this mindset that I'm independent. The truth is, I need help. I need help. And anybody who's ever been a single parent, is not cute being a single parent
at all.
Because you got to wake up, prepare the breakfast, prepare the lunch, prepare the dinner. You got to still get to work. After you get off work, you got to still figure out your personal life. You can't have deep conversations around the kids because they're going to go back and tell the people in the neighborhood, you know, my mama was over there at Ricky's house and Ricky come over. Ricky always come over when James ain't here. So that you can't really be yourself and you're trying to find yourself. That's a heavy load. So then when you're going through the dynamics of your emotions and all that, guess what? You're by yourself. I need a babysitter. I need somebody to help me with these bills sometimes, because you get to a point where you're falling apart. You get to breaking. Are you meant to do everything by yourself? No, you are not. We are not created by ourselves.
I think the secret to that is finding an individual who has the same mindset, the same purpose, and the same goals. Same morals, like the core values.
Yes.
And you guys to make a choice, because I really believe that the person you're supposed to be with makes the choice that they're going to work with you every day on that marriage, on that relationship. So if you guys come together and y'all both have the same willingness to make it happen, it's going to happen. And that you can be two individual, very independent people, but the compromise is, I'm going to drop this so we can make this work.
Which is very, very true.
Is independent of what? See, that's the problem. You can't say I want to be in a relationship, and you can't say I want to be together as and function as one, but I want to be independent. Wait, independent of what? You know what I'm saying? You can be an independent person, meaning you have your own minds and your own mind.
That's what I'm speaking of. Especially because you have a lot of people who take on outside opinions. So when I say that, I'm one of them people who could give a damn about what people think about what I got going on. I need a person that has the same mindset. Like, I'm really about family. I'm really about a unit. Anything outside of what we're creating doesn't matter. So I find that I thrive better in those type of relationships when we're both with that mindset. Like, it's just me and you and our kids. Whatever else, as long as we don't let it penetrate what we got going on, we'll be cool.
But we'll go back to what she said earlier, too, is that we, out of fear, will always go back to what we're used to, go back to the norm. And because we want to keep that level of control, that norm is a part of our comfort. And our comfort is a part of our fear. And our fear is a part of our independence. So I'm independent and I'm fearful because I'm scared of what I need to be validated and to build up to this level where I don't think I can be at. Because we're used to, it's like a lot of people don't never move out of their community. A lot of people don't never leave within 20 miles of their community. Guess what? Because the mindset won't let them leave. And if you look at where you live at, you live within 20 miles of the community you grew up in, because your mindset won't allow you to go further and go beyond that. And that's where the level of comfort comes in at. And we never get to where we need to be at in that achievement of what you need. I need to go further than this. I know we way over time, sis, because we because you got cool dialogue, and then you got your girl here, Tosh.
Because I believe we got to get to the root. I'm a root coach, and so that's part of the reason why I know I'm not for everybody. Because some people want surface coaches, they want pacification. I don't have it for you.
Good.
I can't pacify you. What I can do is I can love you. I can go through it with you. But I tell all of my clients that if you do not dig up the roots, I liken it to a tree. Think about the tree. When the tree starts growing rotten fruit, you don't just pick the fruit off and say, dang, I hope it grow better next time. And then it grows back again and it's rotten again. And you're like, dang, I hope it grows better next time. And you're going to keep picking that. No. You have to get to the root in order to dig that up, get a fresh root down there, water it, and wait and let it grow again so that you can get good fruit, because rotten roots equal rotten fruit all day.
All day.
And unfortunately, many of us are still operating off of what Meemaw taught us in the midst of her damaged life, you know, and wounded life and woundedness, and some of the things that she that were passed down from slavery. Some of us have listened to the things that our mother said. I'll never forget, my mother was 26 years old, and she said to me, if a man say he love you, he lying. She was 26. I was 7. Okay. She told me this. I never forgot it, because every time a man, including my father, told me he loved me, I was like this.
What?
Yeah.
And so let me tell you what I had to learn and what I had to unlearn. I had to unlearn that, and I had to learn that my mother was 26 and she had been in bad relationships and she was hurting. Yeah. And then I had to ask myself, would I listen to a 26-year-old today?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some of us don't understand that our parents are only operating under under the conditions of which that they were gifted. And so therefore she was giving me what she had at the time and calling herself protecting me from the hurt that she had been through. But what she didn't understand was she was feeding me poison, because her plate was poisonous.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh. So go back to the drawing board. What you was just saying is the person got to start doing the work. If you want what you need, you got to start working at it and dig up the stuff that's been holding you back from what you need. And a lot of people are too fearful to dig up that old tree because their comfort level is about that tree that they've attached themselves to. And that's a lot of people won't get rid of cars. They won't move out of houses that they've been in for many years. You know why? Because their comfort won't allow them to do that. But in order to have what you need, you got to let go of what you're used to.
The hoarders of bad feelings.
Yeah. What they say, if you're comfortable, you're not growing. But if you're uncomfortable, you are growing.
You are growing.
Yeah.
You are growing.
But
so get
receive,
uncomfortable.
To receive, you got to release. You just
So
you have to.
So look at here. It says, you are awesome. I gotta give you your props.
Girl, you was off the chain.
You killing it. You killing it. Hey, look, most people will never tell you that they're watching you, and there's a lot of people that's watching you that you don't know. I'm encouraging you to keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Because the information that you're putting out, you may not think it just hit everybody you want to hit, but it's hitting people when they catch it. Somebody might not catch it today, but they're gonna catch it later on. So we so appreciate you. But really quick, in our final remarks, I just want to kind of put it towards you and Tosh. If you and Tosh can kind of close out with final remarks on this one, Tosh.
I mean, it's basically do the work. Like, it's nothing wrong with self-reflection. There's nothing wrong with facing your own demons. And if it's something you really want as an independent person, you're going to have to, like she said, drop that title and get to the core. Why do you feel like you have to be independent? If you want someone to come in, if you want to build with someone, you can't be independent. And it starts with doing the work.
So, and that goes back to not letting anything in, but searching what you need along the way. Because that's where a lot of our comfort, we got to remember, let go of what you're comfortable with. If you keep going back to somebody insecure and you're insecure, then you're going to always keep an insecure person around you because you can control that. So definitely let that go. And then, Zakiya, you yourself, what do you want to say, sis?
I just want to say you can have it all. You can have independence in a healthy way, and you can have a healthy relationship. And I'm so glad that we did have someone like Michelle Obama on a national level, on a global level, to show us that, yes, we can still go after our dreams. Yes. We can still go after the things that we want to do, but we can still be in order. And that requires you to self-reflect, self-check. And then it also requires that you will say, I need help beyond just me. Right. And so that's why I'm out here. That's why there are so many others that are out here sincerely wanting to deposit into you the things that you need. But you got to be willing to hear the hard stuff about you. You can't. Everybody's not hating. OK, everybody's not hating. Everybody don't want you to be at a certain level so that, just as long as you don't surpass me. No, everybody's not out to get you. Right. But you have to go back to the root of the thing so that you can fix the fruit of the thing.
Ooh, man.
Go ahead now.
Killing it. Hey, I just want to leave everybody with this really quick. Once again, if you're looking to reach someone, you can reach Ms. Zakiya Monique at Zakiya Monique Speaks on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. As well, if you're trying to reach Miss Tosha V, you're going to look up I Am Her at 702 on TikTok, Instagram. You want to reach Mr. Ron Murray, make sure you just type in Ronald Murray and you're going to find him. I'm your own Clevonne. And then last but not least, I just got to give a shout out to Vegas Hype Media. If you're looking for a good studio time and you're in town for a little bit, make sure you reach out and give a call. Vegas Hype Media, the engineer, he's awesome.
Quan.
Awesome. Yes, make sure you reach out to Vegas Hype Media if you're looking for a good studio to be in. We'll see you all next week. We'll be back on the scene. We appreciate you, Miss Monique, on the scene. Thank you. Thank you, girl. Killing it. Till we meet again. You all have a good evening.
All right. That was cool.